up, YouTube? I'm just gonna be doing a short video about my raid AR build. It's changed a little bit since the raid came out, and I do feel this build is a lot better than the other one. I do want you guys to keep in mind that this is not like a raid speedrun AR build, right? All right, it's an AR build, but it's not a speedrun build, right? When you look at the leaderboards and you see those guys running like some crit, strain, berserk, everything, like complete glass cannon, like this is not a speedrun build. It does insane damage regardless. It does really, really good damage, and you can really pull your own weight, but you're gonna have more survivability and a lot more like just like heals in general to keep yourself alive, and paired with some like protection from elites to just be able to survive a lot more, right? So this is the main focus of the build. It's what we're going to be. It's what we're going for basically. So yeah, this is a build that, in my opinion, can help you guys out to get through the raid easily and just not really have to worry about it too much. So yeah, so the one thing I want to show you is my burst DPS. When I emptied 2 full magazines in the shooting range, I was able to kill 6 targets when they were on elite difficulty, and I was able to push 3.5 million DPS in two full magazines with my P416. So basically, I'm just gonna go through the stats real quick, like the overall stats, and then I'm gonna go into more details with like all the gear and what I got in every single piece, right? So if we go to the stats sheet, so we have a P416 with Optimus Allegro, and we're sitting at 22,158 damage on the P4. It could be higher, but it's not for some very specific reasons where I want to have my damage really well balanced between flat damage, headshot damage, and damage to elites, which are all different multipliers that interact with each other. So the more balanced you have all of these stats together, the more damage output you'll be able to get. So in my case, with 22,158 like damage on my P416, I have 76% headshot damage. But that does not include my Nemesis headshot damage, which is another 25%. So over here we'd be having 101 headshot damage on the build. If we keep going down a little bit, we see that we have 114% damage to elites. So it's a lot of damage, bro. So we're sitting as well. So we're sitting on 271,670 armor and 51,366 health. And it's honestly it's enough, bro. And the reason why we go with lower health like this is because we have something that's magical. I don't know where it's at though, but we have 30% protection from elites. So my EHP is actually way higher than what you see over here when you combine those two. If you combine those two, it's like what, like 322,000, almost 23,000. Yeah, 323,000 EHP. But if you multiply that by 30%, 1.3. That means my HP is actually way higher. I have a lot of protection from elites. And if you go in the raid, you'll realize that damage to elites and protection from elites are pretty much the two only things that you need, bro. Like everything is a yellow bar in there, everything's an elite, so it's pretty easy, bro. And then when I go down a little bit, I have 1698 chem launcher skip power, and this is basically like it's a little more than what I would need. So you guys won't need to have like this much to like be able to do what I'm doing. But the main reason is for me to use 230% chem launcher heal like percentage over here in my chem launcher. So basically you will need around 1520 and 1546, to put these two over here. And this is what increases your survivability by a lot, because all you have to do is pop one chem launcher and you can heal like a good amount of your HP, like a good chunk. I'd say one chem launcher charge could easily heal you for like 65-70% of your total armor, which is really comfortable. Alright, so like I said earlier, we have a P416, we have Optimus Allegro. So the first thing you want to do, as always, like in every single video, what I say and what I say every time I stream as well, you just want to look first for the damage roll, right? So compare a bunch of P416s and look at the one that has the highest base damage. That's the one that you want to pick. And then basically the first talent is the one that matters the most, right? So you're going to be putting Optimus here for this build specifically. If you don't want to use Optimus because you think another talent is better, go ahead and use it. But this is what for me has been working really well. And then I was fortunate enough to also get Rate of Fire Allegro on here. So if you can shoot all your bullets 10% faster, then you can do 10% more DPS, right? If you exclude all the reloading. So yeah, of course, aggro is really good. So for example, if you had like a P4 that's a little lower damage, but it has aggro on it, for example, and not accurate over here, it would probably still do more DPS overall if you have Optimus aggro. But if the damage is too low, if I had like a P4 with like 20 or like 19.5, but it had Optimus aggro, then I would probably do less damage in that case than a P416 that doesn't have aggro and only has Optimus with a good base weapon damage. And that's the conclusion I came through when I was testing a lot of different like strategies for P4s and talents, like talents combination, and that's really what I was going for. So yeah. Second weapon, of course, Nemesis. Pretty self-explanatory. I just want to have more headshot damage. During the raid, you see me switch a lot to this over here, you know. The Merciless. It's really good. Like even without having an explosive build or having those talents to increase your explosive damage, I put 5 stacks on a Chunga just because my weapon damage is decent and I have a really high DTE. With 5 stacks, I can still do 70% or more of a Chunga's health or a doggo. And if I put 3 more stacks, usually just finishes off the job. So for the weapon mods on this P416, I just go for more damage to elites. If you feel like you don't like this, bro, you could honestly just go optimal range to be able to beam from further away. But yeah, I don't know. It's up to you, man. Like we have so much DTE already that this 5% probably doesn't really matter that much. But I want those big numbers, bro. So I do the same thing on the muzzle. If you want to have more accuracy because, I don't know, you want to have more stability, whatever you want, just go ahead. But I feel like I don't really need it, so I just go for the damage to release again. On the grip, I do accuracy, and then I was fortunate enough to finally get a 20 round mag for 5.56. So we're using that too. Otherwise, just use a 10 round AR mag until you get this. You'll get it eventually, man. So that's pretty much it for weapons. I'd say the last thing that's really good is honestly just running in rhythm. In rhythm to reset your hive cooldown is always amazing. It happens a lot more often than you think, and since you have like so much damage, you really kill the yellow bars like fast as hell, and you kill pretty much everything pretty fast, man. Usually when I aim to the head, I'm in my optimal range to shoot someone in the head. I kill a yellow bar in approximately, I don't know, like 40 bullets, 35-40 bullets if I don't miss a single bullet. So yeah, we chilling out here, bro. Alright, so here goes for the gear. So I go 2-piece Gilla. I don't really need to be doing 2-piece Gilla, but it's pretty nice to have a little bit of hazard protection. It's whatever. If I would change a piece of gear for somewhere, I would probably switch out this Gilla over here and pick something else. But I need like a tiny bit more scale power. Like I could probably do like a Y'all's gear and get like a yellow scale power of like 200-ish and get like a 12% AR damage or something. I could probably do that and get the weapon handling on top of that because I don't need 8 blues. But I don't know if I want to drop my EHP that much because 51k is kind of limit for me in the raid in case I get poisoned, and I don't know. It's like something you could consider or maybe do. I haven't tried it yet. I think I do have the piece of gear. I'd have to like really just check it out. So yeah. So the biggest thing is getting damage to elites on every single piece of gear you have. So all 6 pieces will be rolling hard hitting, and you'll be running Unstoppable Force as a second talent on a chest piece, and you'll be running Patience as your last talent on the knee pads to give you a little extra boost. You know what I mean? So let's start with the mask. So the mask is hard hitting, like I was saying earlier. And it's paired with 44% damage to elites. I'd say those are the 2 most crucial rolls you need on the piece of gear. And whatever blue you get is really whatever. You just need the blues, to be honest. I just need some blue. So yeah, percentage health is pretty good. Or just a flat amount of health is also really good. I would stay away from anything else, to be honest. You don't really need it for the raid. And then on the mod slot, well, since we need skill power to reach those 1500 skill power mods on the Chem launcher, well, we get to put a skill power utility protocol over here. Now this is where it gets tricky, getting the 511 backpack. So this gives you 5% protection from elites. And this is my weakest piece of gear, I would say, and the one I would have to work on. I could easily have like two, like 1500, not 1500, 15,000 armor and then 15,000 health, which would help me a lot for my EHP. And then I could recalibrate the 9% weapon damage or more on the backpack afterwards, and just honestly just be using that. Then the talents, hardened. Honestly, I think this is the best combination for talents. There's really no other talent you would really want to have. You could maybe use efficient, but I don't know, bro. Hardened really feels good on this backpack. And then you could have a defensive or utility mod over here, as long as it's not offensive, because it would also give you like another red. You don't want to have another red. Would be whatever. And then I just put my one single generic AR mod over here for 5% extra damage. If you feel like you don't need the extra damage and you'd rather have like more survivability, then yeah, just put something to help you out over here, like percentage armor or whatever, right? Now for the gloves, we have flat health and we have assault rifle damage. Unfortunately, my my health was too high on this piece of gear, so I couldn't reroll at 12%. So I'm still on the hunt for a better ghillie gear that has hardening. And then once again, we put skill power over here just so we can reach enough skill power for the chem launcher. On the knee pads, honestly, percentage armor was the best for me. I recalibrated this today. I was using a roll, like a really high, almost max roll, like 15,000 before. And I was getting like 267k armor, and getting percentage armor at 10.5 is actually like a lot better on the knee pads, because it gives me like 4,000 total more armor than before. So I would recommend doing percentage armor over here, but honestly just check on your own build, you know, what you get, what the pieces you have, to see what is best for you. So far the max roll I've ever seen for percentage armor on knee pads is 11.5, so keep that in mind. I'd say like a 10% armor or more is really good. Anything around 15,000 is also a really high roll on knee pads. I think I've seen 16,000 only once, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Yeah, talents, patience and harden, pretty self-explanatory. So we use 2-piece Fenris for the 10% protection from elites, paired with the 511 backpack. That's another 15%, and then survivalist gives us, you know, another 15. So it's a grand total of 30% protection from elites from the yellow bars, you know. Then we use 2-piece Fenris. You know, we also get the assault rifle damage, which is pretty self-explanatory on an AR build. Next is probably my most overpowered piece of gear in my whole build. I have a holster with 806 skill power, which is insane. And then I use hardening here as well. And then I have a utility system mod slot, which has 500 and what, like 56 skill power for the chem launcher total. So this gives me a huge boost. If you can't reach this high, bro, on chem launcher for the percentage heal, you could use like 25 or 25% chem launcher heal, and I think that those require like 1200 skill power. So if you don't have like a really good utility systems like this, and you have like a lower one for the chem launcher that gives you like 300, and I'd say like a 700 attribute over here is usually pretty easy to get as well. You could easily do like 25% chem launcher for a grand total of 50, which would be good. Then eventually you can like min-max the build towards getting like 260% like me, yo. You know what I mean? So yeah, we get 5% accuracy, but it's kind of whatever, to be honest. And then the chest piece. So I went for flat armor over here, which works well with the percentage armor from the backpack on hardened and from the knee pads as well. And then we have a flat weapon damage. I kind of wish this was a little higher, but it's kind of whatever. And then we recalibrated to get a really high headshot damage. Why is that? Well, pretty much all the bosses, you know, they take headshot damage except for the final boss. But I usually play DPS and I don't play generator. And even if I am wasting a slot here for when I do DPS, I do like pretty insane DPS on the boss itself. But when it comes to me killing all the ads, like I said earlier, I'm killing all the ads within one clip, like easily. So yeah, we chilling. Stoppable force and hardening again. And then unfortunately I have probably like the worst mod slot. It's a defensive protocol, but you know, whatever. I put 80 to 100 health in here, and yeah, whatever. I think that pretty much sums up everything in the build, in my opinion. Nothing too crazy mod wise except for the chem launcher one. Everything else is whatever. You don't really need, like I said, like the generic AR over here. You can just put like another blue. Those are some really good mods, man. Like if you have like a one like this over here where you have like percentage armor and protection from elites, like that's really good survivability again over here. Or you can put like a 4.5% total armor, or 4% even is good enough with some flat armor. Like a lot of things really work over here. But I would say getting the double talent 511s, you know, when you were not looking for this, like This is really like the unique piece of this build. I would say that's pretty nice. And actually using this for, you know, because it also gives like protection from elites, it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it sums up everything. You don't really need to be using a double barrel. Like, I never use this. Like, any pistol that has like Inridum, like anything works, dude, as long as you have like Inridum in your build. If you have Inridum on your AR, then yeah, you're chilling, honestly. I'd say I have transmission, which on boomer, but it's kind of whatever. I'd say the best thing to have is probably overlap on the for the AR. So overlap are probably the one that when you reload your weapon, you have like 10% bonus armor. I'd say that's pretty good as well. So yeah, I use the hive, the chem launcher, and we just chill on it the whole raid. Yeah, I think I summed up everything. So if you like the build, honestly, you know, you can check me out on YouTube. Whenever I make new builds, you can come check me out on pretty much a daily basis. I stream Division 2. You can check me out on my channel as well at Gaffican TV. And yeah, appreciate you guys stopping by. See you next time. Peace out.